Does anybody want to go to the playoffs in the National League? I mean, we know the Phillies and the Dodgers and, the Brewers, they got that. And then there's the Cubs and, well, the Padres. But quite frankly, the Mets don't look like they want anything to do with the playoffs. But neither do the teams chasing them.
Step up to the plate. It's the Locked On MLB Squad Show. From the Dodgers to the Astros, the Mets to the Rangers, and everyone else in the league, with the experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you the most comprehensive breakdown of all the action around the horn. We're coming in spikes up. No hurt feelings allowed, so squad up. Step up to the plate. It's the Locked On MLB.
Welcome on into the Locked On MLB Squad Show. Appreciate you joining us here for this latest edition of the Squad. My name is Jeff Carr. I am the Locked On MLB channel manager and one half of Locked On Reds. Joining me here today, JD Haffern from Locked On Cardinals. JD, what you got for us today?
I got a team that is done, so I am out for the playoffs. Although Booty was trying to make me feel better before we went live to it's 5 games back. You got Miles Michaelis. You're going to be okay. Not going to happen.
Speaking of the Booney, he's here too. Locked On A's. The A's, they did just sweep my Reds, so there's that.
If Major League Baseball went to the minor league system where there was 2 halves, a first half winner and a second half winner, we're having a different conversation.
I did take the A's to be a surprise playoff team in my futures bets. I don't want to talk about the rest of my futures bets because they are all on that same plane of wrongness. But yes, and speaking of wrongness, Justin Latta from Locked On Guardians also. Oh, I'm sorry, no, not wrongness. He is right some of the times too.
Wow. So some of the times, just some of the time. That's fine. That's okay. I was wrong writing off the Guardians 3-4 times this year. They've gotten the defibrillator more often than I've been right. So that's fine. That's fair.
That's what we do in Ohio. We write off our baseball teams, and yet they still remain in playoff races because the Reds are 2 games out. The Guardians are on a crazy winning streak, reminiscent of 22 in a row. Not quite that much, but still getting up there. It's a nice hard charge toward the wild card. Are they going to get it done?
They are going to get it done. They're going to get there. I'm going to even say
he's believing. He's back in.
The division is in play. I am back in all the way. I am back in. The division is in play.
Ooh, what? I don't necessarily know exactly how bad the Tigers have fallen here, but man, they've fallen on some hard times for Cleveland.
The Tigers are below 500 in the second half. They are multiple games below 500 in the second half. And the Guardians, I will say, they are 17-5 since the end of August.
Wow.
That's after they were 23-9 until August 14th, and they went 1-9, and now they're 17-5, and now they're 13-4 in the month of September. So they have one of the best records in baseball. I think they have the best record in baseball since the end of their 10-game losing streak. So Booney would have some competition for the second half championship.
Now, Justin, who has the tiebreaker between the Tigers and the Guardians?
TBD, but if the Guardians win 3 in Cleveland next week, or if they win 1, I'm sorry, the Guardians need 1 more win against the Tigers to get the tiebreaker. Obviously, if they only win 1 of 3, the division chances are probably over at that point. So we'll see what happens. The funny thing about that is, earlier in the year, Cleveland went to Detroit, took 3 of 4, lost to Tarek Skubal, beat him today, so boom. And then the Tigers came into Cleveland, swept them. They won the game, JD.
They won the game. And he pitched, and they didn't beat Tarek Skubal today.
Is he a part of the Detroit Tigers? Is he?
Beat the bullpen surrounding him.
Yeah. Is what I was pointing out. The reason I know this is just because of fantasy baseball. It has nothing to do with me doubting the Cleveland Guardians by any means.
They won the game, okay?
They won the game. They beat the team that Tarek Skubal pitches
You play to win the game, as one famous coach once said.
The Guardians beat Tarek Skubal the way that teams beat the Pirates when Paul Skeens pitches. They just beat the other pitchers that get on the mound after Paul Skeens is done pitching.
And they rely on the other team's ineptitude, yeah. But the Tigers swept the Guardians in Cleveland, so neither of these 2 teams have played well at home. So next week's going to be really interesting.
And kind of, too, with the Rangers falling off a little bit. I know I teased, like, the NL wildcard picture here for a minute, but sticking with the American League, the Rangers look like they were making that hard charge. A lot of people were picking, including myself, and now they seem to be falling back. And it looks like it's Cleveland's game to get that final wild card spot away from that spot there. I just blanked on who is in the final wild card spot at the moment.
I think it's the
We
Red
got three
Sox,
good teams. You
isn't
got Boston, Seattle, like they're all right there. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Red
mean,
Sox.
Booney's A's.
Red
Booney's
Sox
A's could have helped out the other night if they had beaten the A's, but no, if they beaten the Red Sox, but no. Thanks, Booney.
I mean, he's been playing good ball. Red Sox game and a half up right now over the Guardians, 4 up on the Rangers. I mean, no one's really, I wouldn't say anyone's really out of it from either side. Even the
Rangers
Cardinals 5 back. You never know. With 9 to play, they win out. Reds are right there. I mean, who knows?
Who's the most vulnerable though? Like between the Red Sox and the Mets, who's the most vulnerable between those two?
Red Sox, no question about it. I mean, they're just a bad team right now. The A's beat them 2 out of 3, and their offense has just absolutely disappeared. They have absolutely zero offense. Now, I will say this about the offense, about their pitching. If you're looking at 2 legit aces, this rookie early is legit. Crochet and early, that may be the best 1-2 punch in all of baseball as far as starters go. Again, he's only made two major league starts. They're both against the A's, but damn, they're really good starts.
We know Hunter Green might say something about that. One hit shutout of the Chicago Cubbies tonight, and him and Andrew Abbott, you put them 2 guys together.
You would think that, but then I'm thinking back to Hunter Green's outing on Saturday against the A's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true too. He was giving up the long ball there in the Sutter Health Park. Yeah.
The AAA stadium. Just call it AAA.
In no city. It's a non-existent city.
It's the redacted city there in California. I think I tend to agree with you because I don't understand why the Mets are here. Like the Mets won as we're recording here on Thursday. They won against the Padres on Thursday, and that's just their 3rd win in their last 10 games. They keep doing this thing where they go on crazy streaks of ineptitude. Then they go on that 8-game winning streak, and now they're back on another streak of crazy ineptitude. And I wonder a little bit, like, will one of the Diamondbacks, Reds, or Giants actually finally take advantage of this? Because all 3 of these teams, as much as I have liked to sort of belabor the point that the Reds are getting close without actually getting there, so have the Diamondbacks and so have the Giants. Like they've all been within like a half game over this last month or so, but nobody has actually overtaken them.
The Mets
had
are really good right now because of their pitching.
Though. You know, the Mets were up there for quite a while, so it took an 8-game losing streak just to get them this close to where they're at. So I know you guys might be down on Boston, but I am shocked at how vulnerable the Mets are right now, where their best pitchers are 3 rookies right now. Like it's none of these guys that they went and spent, the bag on to bring to New York. It's McClain, it's Sproat, it's Tong. Like these are the guys that some people, had never seen or heard of until the last 2-3 weeks. And those are the guys they're relying on to, get them over the finish line. I've always said that it'd shock me if the Mets didn't get in just because of the amount of talent that is on the roster. But I mean, relying on those 3 to get you to the promised land, man, that's some risky business right there.
Here's something interesting. In all these teams, and something that's different this year than any other years, there's not one team that they're starting pitching you look at and they scare you. There's no 1-2 punch out there that's like, whoa. I mean, pitchers right now, it seems like they're dropping like flies with regard to getting hurt.
I don't know. Dodgers are pretty amazing. Like if you put those guys, like give me Shohei, Snell, Glass now, Yamamoto. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. With regard
they're healthy.
Dodgers aren't part of the conversation.
Okay.
I do wonder about them a little bit though. And since you mentioned them, let's talk about them Dodgers, because are we about to see Clayton Kershaw right off into the sunset? This episode is brought to you by Zippix Toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings and the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be helpful to you as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. Available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligram and 3 milligram nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. This here peppermint watermelon flavored one, this actually is a really good combo here and a good hit of energy as well. To check these out and more, go to zippixtoothpicks.com and use the code locked on for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older to order. Warning, nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's zippixtoothpicks.com. Promo code locked on. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix. Thank you for making Locked On MLB part of your everyday routine. Make sure you check out Locked On MLB Game Night after you're done watching today's Locked On MLB Squad. They watch every game, every night, all the way through the World Series and keep you up to date on everything going around this league. All right, I teased it there before we jumped into the break. The Dodgers are very intriguing because, I mean, obviously coming into this season, their over-under was insane. I think it was at 104.5 at one point, and they're certainly not going to hit that. But they are going to have this magic surrounding them. Just lost the word of Clayton Kershaw announcing his retirement. Like, is he going to ride off into the sunset? Or are we going to be crowning them World Series champs again?
Absolutely. I can't imagine you can't. I mean, as JD was saying, you got Yamamoto, you got Snell, you got Glasnow. I think if you were really to look at their health and look at them as a ball club as a whole, they're in better shape this year than they were last year at this time. They look really, really good. And I don't know who's going to beat those three on any given day.
What do you make of Ohtani playing the outfield to subvert that rule in the playoffs? That he's on there. Could he win the Gold Glove if he played all year in the outfield? I don't know, but I wouldn't put it past him. But I also think that we're asking this dude to do so much on the baseball field.
I don't know that
he's
any
getting paid to do
enough.
it, so I don't feel bad for him at all.
It's true. It's
they
true.
give plenty of cheddar to go. If they need him to be a bullpen catcher, he better have his butt out there doing it. If I was paying the bill for Shohei Ohtani, but I mean, the guy's an incredible athlete. We haven't seen him play the field in a few years, so I don't know how great he's going to be, but I would imagine he'll be just fine. I don't imagine that he'll have too many issues there. But him as a pitcher, as a starting pitcher, you mentioned those other three, Booney, but you put Ohtani in there now, who looked incredible in his last outing. Like that, he looked like Cy Young award-winning type of guy, Ohtani, right there to go along with the MVP power. So. It's going to be tough. It's weird how they flip-flop their problems. Remember last year it was the starting rotation with the Dodgers. Everybody's like, uh-oh, they don't have anybody. Now it's the bullpen that everybody's like, uh-oh, none of these guys are all that good right now. So it's a different problem to have. But if any of those starters, instead of going like the 5 innings that sometimes you see in a playoff game instead, and these guys are stretching 6-7, then they don't have to rely on them quite as much.
That's what I was going to say. That's a good point, because if they get to the playoffs and any of their starters don't do a great job, they're in trouble. And are we going to see the Dodgers try to bring relievers or starters out of the bullpen? Like, that may be the way I have to go. And they're not even in control of the division. Like, the Padres are only 2.5 out. That race is still far from over with the final week to go. Like, the Padres still have a really good rotation themselves, and they probably have one of the best bullpens.
Here's a question for you guys. Does Clayton Kershaw make the roster? Is he going to be on there? Is he coming out of the pen? Is Ibn Sheehan going to be coming out of the pen like you mentioned, Justin?
I don't know. I mean, Kershaw is going to be there. I'm really curious to see how the bottom of their lineup does, though, to be honest with you, because last year their offense, obviously, it's still really good. Like Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Muncy's been solid, but like Teoscar Hernandez not having a great year. Michael Conforto not having a great year. Like, the bottom of their lineup is pretty suspect. And how long is Will Smith going to be out for? Like, that's also not fantastic either. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do in the postseason. I think it's going to be how much can the bottom of their lineup give them, and how many, the third time through the order penalty is true. Like, I know the Rays didn't let Blake Snell go that deep in when they had him, but like Blake Snell might have to go 7 innings or 3 times through the order for the Dodgers for them to win this. Can he do that?
That's an intriguing point too. Like where the Dodgers are in this race, it doesn't feel like unless they go on a crazy run and the Phillies choke a bit. I think that the Dodgers are playing in that first wild card round. And
Yes.
so congratulations, Mets, Diamondbacks, Reds, Giants, whoever it is that makes it, you get to face the Dodgers. And that's just a crazy prospect in and of itself, because it does feel like, as much as somebody could kind of try to poke fun at the Dodgers for not hitting their over under, the Dodgers don't care about that. They care about October. That's all they care about. The season begins here in a couple of weeks for them. And so that's going to be the hard part with all of this. Like, people trying to claim that, oh, this is their weakness, that is their weakness. They're going to figure it out because their team is just so freaking deep compared to everybody else. And that's going to be the hard part in getting over the Dodgers. I still feel like the Phillies are the team that makes it to the World Series out of the National League, but I would not be surprised if the Dodgers beat them.
Yeah, I think the Phillies, I mean, you look at a staff that's scary. It's the Phillies, even with losing even with losing Wheeler. That staff from top to bottom, as far as, or is the only staff that you can really look at and match up with the Dodgers as far as pitching. And on the offensive side of the ball, I think they're a lot better.
I don't think their rotation can match up, to be honest with you. I mean, Sanchez has been great. Suarez is fine. Luzardo has been up and down this year. Taijuan Walker, like, is he really going to keep that going? And Aaron Nola has not been great this year either. Their bullpen's a little bit better, but my God, they have Walker Buehler pitching out of their bullpen right now, who got cut by the Red Sox. Like, he got replaced by the rookie you were talking about. Like, I don't know. The Phillies and Rangers were my World Series pick at the beginning of the year. Obviously, one half of that is not going to work out now. I don't know. Like, it's just weird to me, the Dodgers. I know, Jeff, you were saying they don't care about the regular season, but who had the Phillies and the Brewers competing for the best record in baseball? Like, those are the two best teams in baseball, and everybody else is kind of like on a different level, which is very, very strange. The question is, are the Brewers going to actually do anything in the playoffs? And I wouldn't count out the Cubs either. Like, the Cubs, I know they've had their issues in the second half, but I wouldn't want to be facing them in the playoffs either. And you're right, the Dodgers too. Like, I don't want to face them because they're not going to play that final weekend against Boston with anything. They know they're not catching best record. If they have the division wrapped up, they're going to rest all their guys and they're going to line up their pitching for game one of the wild card series. So whoever they're facing is going to have to be putting all their best effort forward to get in to that series. So good luck.
It's interesting that the Cubs actually have a better run differential than the Dodgers do. That's kind of an interesting note to look at there. JD, you and I, at least of the four of us, know the Brewers the best. Are we overlooking them? Because it just feels like they do this every year. They absolutely dominate the regular season, and then we get to October and we're like, flip a coin, let's see what you got. Because every year we know what happens, and Chuck would tell us too if he was on here right now. Like, that's what they're all really worried about.
Yeah, they're worried about the collapse in the playoffs because outside of Freddie Peralta in that starting rotation, I mean, yeah, they got good numbers, but it's Quinn Priester who, nobody was really relying on him coming into the season. It's Jose Quintana. They got Brandon Woodruff coming back from injury. I assume he would be probably their number 2 guy, maybe their number 3 there. What are they going to do with the Miz in the playoffs? But there's a thing about the Brewers this year. And it's something that people used to bring up with the Cardinals. They just find this devil magic, and that's how they're able to pull off wins and whatnot. And it feels like a lot of really lucky things have happened for the Brewers to win as many games as they have. Like, I've never seen anybody going like, that's a scary lineup. Things just kind of fall their way so far this year. And I always wonder if, is that luck going to run out when they get to the postseason? As you mentioned, Chuck would say the same thing, that's his biggest concern. He's like, yeah, they've been a really good regular season team for 3 seasons in a row now, but where's the wins in the playoffs? And that's what they're all nervous about. So I wonder if they go into the playoffs kind of playing timid and a little scared because they don't want to screw it up in the playoffs again. I feel like there's a psychological thing that might be there, but we've played them a lot this year, dude. They are a good team. They're very solid up and down in that lineup. They play really good baseball. I love the way they play too, where it's bunting, it's sacrificing. It's not just relying, like a Yankees team where it's just relying on power all the time. Similar to, how Cleveland does it, it's not just 1 or 2 guys. It's a whole lineup that does things to get it done. And they got a solid bullpen that has kind of, I've gotten a little tired as things have gone on. And Chuck has said that too, that he's worried that they've worn out some of their bullpen arms. But yes, they're getting overlooked. I would agree with that. But at the same time, there's a reason to be timid about what they can do as far as a playoff run all the way to the World Series for sure.
They make contact, they get on base, and when they get on base, they put immense pressure on pitching.
A lot like Toronto, wouldn't you say, Booney? A lot like Toronto.
Yes, absolutely. And up and down the lineup, someone gets on base, and it's like they're looking to take second. They change the whole vibe of the game. I'm rooting for Milwaukee this year.
Yeah.
I hope they take it. I love the way they
As
play
someone who covers a team that has that same formula, Booney, I will say when it gets to October, that formula is hard to make work against a bullpen. If you have a starter that goes 5 shutout innings or 5 innings, 1-run ball, and they've got 3 or 4 relievers they can trot out there, that strategy blows up in your face real quickly. It worked for the Guardians enough to squeak by the Rays in 2022. They took the Yankees to 5 games in 2020. That year, and they got the Yankees to 5 games last year, but that strategy on the whole is very dicey in October.
I mentioned Clayton Kershaw just a minute ago. I feel like him announcing his retirement, or at least announcing his retirement here at the end of the year, signals a changing of the guard, and there's a couple of guys that are going to be following him soon. Who do we see now that's going to pick up that mantle? We'll talk about that next. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. I mean, this week they're making it even a little bit easier on you, giving you an easy pick. They call it a max discount for Patrick Mahomes, 0.5 passing yards. So like literally he completes 1 pass of positive yardage, he gets more on that. So add Patrick Mahomes 0.5 passing yards to your Prize Picks play and add a couple of more in there. Probably looking at Jake Browning to complete a few passes for the Bengals here, especially to Jamar Chase. Maybe Jamar Chase getting some receiving yards as well. Download that Prize Picks app today and use the code Locked On MLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Locked On MLB for $50 in lineups after you make your first $5 play. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5-hour energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. What I love most is how portable they are. Big taste, tiny shot. You can take it anywhere and get that boost when you need it. I mean, 5-hour energy was absolutely clutch when the Reds were on the West Coast this year. And when it comes to the situation, maybe during the day, during the middle of the afternoon, you need a little energy boost, grab yourself some 5-hour energy. All kinds of great flavors out there. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-hour energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in store and online at www.5hourenergy.com or on Amazon today. Thank you for checking out today's Locked On MLB Squad show. A little bit of a mess up on the edit there, my bad. I will say this. We've got all kinds of different shows, whether it be Cardinals, Centric, and JD Haffron, whether we got Locked On A's and Booney, Locked On Guardians, Justin Latta, Locked On Reds, myself, and Stephen Offenbaker, or your favorite baseball team, we got something for you. Make sure you check them out today. Hit that subscribe button. We're all over your feeds all the time because we're part of the Locked On Podcast Network. All right, with Clayton Kershaw announcing that he's going to retire at the end of this season, I saw something, I want to say it was probably about May, that The Athletic had put out there about the era of the ace and, the Justin Verlanders and Max Scherzers and Clayton Kershaws of the world and guys like that, where it's like, it feels like we're coming to the end of this era. And there's definitely talented guys in the league like Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal. Are those two like it though? Like, is somebody else going to step up? Because I'd love to say that Hunter Green is part of that group, but Hunter Green has not stayed healthy enough to make enough starts in the season for like everyone around the league to recognize his aceness.
Is Clayton Kershaw the last of his breed? Is he the last one with starting pitching changing so much? It seems now every other week, every month, whatever it may be, somebody is going down with some sort of major injury. A position player in baseball, they're out 4 to 6 weeks. A starting pitcher is out like 2 years. And if they're ever back to normal, who knows? I don't know if there's – I don't think it's off base to say Clayton Kershaw may be the last one with the way pitchers are being trained to throw these days.
Clayton Kershaw stopped being the last of his breed years ago, though, because you talk about guys who are hurt every year. Clayton Kershaw hasn't been healthy for a full season, and I can't tell you how long, to be honest. So, and that's not to say Clayton Kershaw obviously is going to be a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best to ever do it. But yeah, the last of his kind has gone to the wayside. Like Paul, I forget how many career wins he has, but like we may not see another 300 career winner. I don't even know who's anywhere close to that. Like when the Pirates eventually trade Paul Skeens to the Dodgers, like maybe he'll start winning games over there. Or, Garrett Crochet, like he's already been hurt with Tommy John, but he's having a fantastic year. I think Crochet has solidified himself. But again, if he can stay healthy, you're right. Because everybody at this point, like Tarek Skubal, yeah, like he's good too. But everybody has Tommy John, and everybody doesn't pitch 100, 200 innings, and nobody wins a lot of games anymore.
Yeah, I'm looking at Kershaw's stats here. 222 wins. So like we're not even.
Scherzer, is he close to 300? I know he's on the outs too, but
I would say no. He's had a lot of injuries too. Like we're talking about these guys. Yeah. I mean, they've pitched very late into their careers, which is why the numbers have been able to reach the heights they have. But yeah, it's. Who's the next guy? I would say Skubal. That's the first guy that comes off the top of my head that is even remotely in that sort of category. But yeah, it's not about 7, 8, 9 innings anymore. It's about get me a quality start, get me to 6, and then we'll hand it off to the bullpen. And that's where guys are picking up the wins and stuff these days. And there's just not those. Managers and teams just don't expect it from them anymore. They're not requiring it, really. It's what it is. I don't really put the blame on the guys. It's really that's the way they think is the best way to utilize the arms these days. So, yeah, it's tough to imagine anybody getting even close to 3,000 strikeouts again or anything like that because they just don't pitch long enough and they don't pitch deep enough into games.
Well, Justin, you bring up a good point because, all right, so the top 3 active pitchers and wins right now are Verlander, Kershaw, Scherzer. Verlander with 265, Kershaw with 222, and Scherzer with 221. The next guy has 153, and it's Garrett Cole. You know who's 5th?
Hurt this year.
Tommy John.
You won't guess. You won't guess who is the number 5 guy. I'll give you guys each one guess.
Oh,
JD, give me a guess.
Number 5 guy.
Jeez,
active pitcher and wins. Let's see where he's at on this list. Nope, number 5.
Geez, that is brutal.
There is a Cardinal that's on this list. A current Cardinal that's on the top 10.
Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
Sonny Gray's number 7. Number 5. Justin, you got a guess?
Who is on the Cardinals that is late?
Sonny Gray was number 7. That's the Cardinals. I'll give you a hint. Okay. I didn't give anybody else, and if you don't get it right, I'll give the hint to everybody else. But the hint here is think about how old this guy is.
It can't be Jacob deGrom because he never won a lot of games. So I can't say Jacob deGrom, but I don't know who else to go with. Robbie Ray? Like Robbie Ray's been around forever, but he's always
Logan Webb?
Logan Webb's not old enough.
No, I don't know.
Charlie Morton.
Ooh, good one.
He's a
Charlie
40s,
Morton
yeah.
is number 5 in the active wins pitchers at 147.
When I think of pitching dominance, I definitely think of Charlie Morton.
When you say elite, Charlie Morton right after that.
Like
Hall of Fame, Charlie Morton? What?
Wow.
Let's see. Garrett Cole's 34 at 153 wins. Sonny Gray's 35 at 124 wins. There is Kevin Gausman has 112, and he's tied with Carlos Carrasco for 11th
Hey,
wins.
Carlos Carrasco.
Yeah,
We're going to have to change the Hall of
rookie.
Fame parameters. Let's just be honest. We have to stop thinking about how much wins matter. We have to change the parameters.
They don't, because there are 20 guys right now, active major league pitchers that have 100 or more wins. 20. That's it. Nathan Uvalde is number 20, right below Dallas Keuchel.
Is he actually active right now, Dallas Keuchel?
It's a good question.
I think he might have pitched a minor league game this year. I don't even
Jose
know.
Barrios is 16th with Aaron Nola. But it's crazy to think. I mean, you bring up a great point. Like, how do we evaluate the aceness of guys moving forward? Because obviously Verlander, Kershaw, Scherzer, there's nobody like those guys anymore. Like Garrett Cole might be the closest, but I don't think he wins 100 more games in his career. And if he doesn't win 100 more games in his career, he doesn't even get to where Justin Verlander is right now, let alone get to 300.
Yeah, it's nutty.
If we don't change the parameters 10 years from now, there's not going to be a single pitcher being inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Do we change the Hall of Fame parameters, or do we change the parameters of what a win is?
Well,
I don't think you could change that.
like you were talking about managers, like how they're managing differently. It's development. All these teams now, and I see it covering. Like, I'm sure you guys see it in the minor leagues too. They're not letting guys throw. Like you're getting in the minors, you're going 80 pitches and you're done. Like guys in the minors aren't going 100 or 110. Like if you are a real prospect, like if you have a 26-year-old AAA guy, like okay, you'll let him go 120 because you need someone to chew the innings. But if you're a legitimate prospect, you are throwing 80 to 90 pitches max in the minors. You are throwing 150 innings a year. When you get to the majors, how the heck are you supposed to throw 110 pitches? How the heck are you supposed to throw 190 innings when you don't do it? And the argument is they don't want to waste the bullets in the minors, but it's a catch-22. You gotta do it to be able to handle it. Your body's got to be able to recover, but they don't want to waste the bullets.
I think baseball's going to get away from the power pitcher in the next several years. Number one, with injuries, and also we're seeing some success from guys that are just good pitchers. I mean, I remember Michaelis pitched against the A's, pitched 7 innings that were just
JD's favorite.
He didn't strike out one guy.
If
JD
we
wants a whole.
if we did some kind of game,
of Miles Michaelis's.
we did
JD's
some
like,
kind
yes,
of
give me
game
5 of them. Give me 5.
where
You
you
want
take
5
a
Miles
sip of your
Michaelis?
beverage.
I'll show you a Colorado Rockies 41 and 121.
Yes, exactly.
He is terrible, Booney. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
He looked pretty darn good.
Hitters are training for velocity now. Hitters are training to hit 100. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Kids are chasing velocity. Scouts are looking for it. They're looking for you to throw 100 sliders. Like you can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. They cannot go in the other direction. You might have your Miles Michaelis's and whoever else, but that's not going away. It's just gonna
I love how many times his name has been mentioned on this show.
If we had a game where you take a sip every time Miles Michaelis was mentioned, well, you take another sip just then. You'd be taking a lot of sips in this show, and I would not have expected that.
So proud right now.
Hey, put him in the conversation of carrying the torch.
He could be an A next year. Booney. He's going to be a free agent. You guys can have him.
We can't afford it.
Oh, he'll look great, and Sacramento or the city doesn't exist.
We don't have a city.
Him and his 0.3 WAR this year. That's where we're going in today's the squad show.
Clayton Kershaw, Miles Michaelis. That's a great ending.
For JD Haffron, Locked On Cardinals, Booney, Locked On A's, Justin Latta, Locked On Guardians, myself, Jeff Carr, Locked On Reds, and for Miles Michaelis. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Beetlejuice.